Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren, pushing this word in all sincerity and in truth. All right, shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children that will receive mercy from the Lord in these last days. Shalom. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and this is an article from Natural News dealing with the central bank digital currency. And anytime I come across lessons dealing with this CBDC, I like to go into it because we know, through the spirit that it's going to lead to the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. All right, which will be required, which this devil will cause all in the future. If you want to continue to be, a part of his global citizenship, if you want to receive particular benefits, if you want to work, if you want to travel, if you want to be recognized as a citizen to receive benefits, medical benefits, insurance, if you're going to receive your universal basic income, if you want to board a train, you want to board a plane, you want to be able to drive on public roads, if you want to go into the grocery store, if you want to just function in this man's society that he's about to, establish, you will need the MOTB, in which all of these little CBDCs, this digital identification, all of these digital requirements, they're all leading to something. All right. They're all leading to this new world that this damn devil is trying to establish, which is, pretty much one major crisis away from being established. And this is why you're hearing all this talk of digital ID and your fingerprints and biometrics and transhumanism and AI and all of these different things that this man is setting up in this society, because it's all going to lead to the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. All right. So this is why it's very important for you to understand what all of these, digital ID, biometrics, CBDC, central banks, what all these things are going to, what they all entail, because eventually, all right, Salakia, all right, because all these things, they're leading to something. And if you're, in the dark, if you're asleep, if you don't know what these things mean, if you're not really paying attention to why all these systems are being, constructed, then when these things are brought upon you, you're going to be deceived, and you're going to eventually end up falling prey and being caught or snared in this trap that this devil is setting up for all the whole world. And remember, this whole digital CBDC, this digital totalitarianism that they're erecting, it's a global agenda. It's going to be for every single man, woman, child, a living human being on this planet Earth. All right. It's not dealing with poor nations and rich nations, which that's stupid, because what makes nations, what makes up these different countries are the citizens or the people inside of these different countries, man. All right. And these devils' plan is to, have everybody, every single person that's going to be left alive when they fully implement this beast system. They're going to have all of these different requirements in order to be, included into these things. Otherwise, you'll be separated from it. You'll be put to death, and you'll be totally left out in the cold. So without further ado, I want to read into some of these articles. And just pay attention to the things that they're saying in these articles, and if you're rolling in the spirit, then you can see how all these things are going to lead to that MOTB. All right. It says several nations, particularly Vietnam and Kuwait, are implementing central bank digital currencies tied to comprehensive digital ID systems, raising significant privacy concerns and sparking debate. You see, and they're doing this all over the world. Just some countries are deeper into it than others. But this is, ultimately the end agenda. All right. What else? It says, see, look here, listen to this, right? And this is how it's going to be everywhere eventually. It says countries like Vietnam and Kuwait are mandating citizens to register their biometric data, example given fingerprints, facial recognition, for access to bank accounts and government services. Here's the point. Non-compliance can lead to the loss of these services. We see what they're doing, right? They're making it seem as if it's just voluntary, but eventually it's going to be mandatory. And unless you are registered, unless they have all of your biometric information, your fingerprints, your facial recognition scan, and any other form of biometrics that they require from you, you will not have access to what? Your bank accounts or money or government services, man. You see, you're not going to be able to go to the hospital. You're not going to be able to board a plane. You're not going to be able to pull money out of an ATM or even have access to using money unless you comply, unless you obey, unless you, bow down to this system that they're ultimately going to force upon the whole planet Earth. It's just happening sporadically around, and pretty much all countries are implementing a CBDC program. It's just haven't gotten to the point to where it's mandatory globally all over the place. So like I said, or, like in Vietnam and Kuwait and other places too, like India and different places around the world, they're already implementing this shit, man. All right. It's just going to take a little bit longer before it fully comes here to America. But that's why they're going to eventually crash this economy. This is why they're going to allow all of the order out of the chaos and societal breakdown and all these world wars. They need all of this chaos and dysfunction and cyber attacks and, the collapse of the banking system so that after, all hell breaks loose, they're going to come with this agenda. They're going to come with this digital, slave system that's going to promise peace and safety, and it's going to fix everything. And, as long as everybody complies, hey, we can have a law and order. Everything can go back to how it used to be. But we'll just have this new system that's better and that's more convenient and that's faster. And, you don't have to worry about fraud. You don't have to worry about anything bad happening, but you just have to fully bow down and submit yourself to this beast system that they're creating, man. You see? Look, as it says, while supporters claim these measures enhance financial inclusion and security, critics view them as steps towards greater state control over financial behavior. The trend is growing, with 134 countries exploring CBDCs and 11 already launched. You see, so it's happening all over the world, man. But we know eventually what the end game of this is going to be. All right. And it says, in a troubling development, several nations are implementing central bank digital currencies. And I remember, man, I forget the guy's name. I don't have the video, but they literally was talking to one of these major World Bank guys, or he had some type of title like that. And the guy asked him, and they were talking about CBDCs. And he said, what will CBDCs look like in the future? And the guy literally said it will be about the size of a grain of rice, man. And we know where that is going. We know what they intend on doing with that. So like I always been saying, all of these CBDCs, them getting you implemented into the system and having your biometrics on file, and you at the beginning might be able to use these different apps and use a digital wallet. But we know eventually all that technology is going to go from being inside of your phone, eventually inside of you in the form of that micro chip, man. See? And this is where all this technology is ultimately going to lead to. It says, in a troubling development, several nations are implementing central bank digital currencies linked to comprehensive digital ID systems, raising serious concerns among privacy advocates and citizens alike. You see, because all these systems, they're all linked together. You can't have one without the other. And eventually it's all going to culminate in the form of that MOTB. All right. And you're not going to have a choice, man. All right. He's going to cause all of you to take it. And I'm going to go into that in a minute. It says, critics argue that these initiatives are laying the groundwork for a global surveillance state, right? This whole beast system. Individuals who refuse to comply. So that's not talking about small nations and great nations. So don't be listening to Nate and the IUIC. And when they break down Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse, they're going off on that. They're making it seem as if it has nothing to do with individuals or citizens of these so-called poor countries and rich nations. All right. Like I said earlier, what the hell you think makes nations and what you think makes up states and countries, man? It's the people and the citizens that live within those countries, man. And this system is going to be targeted on every single individual in that country, whether you're a man, woman, or child, man. You're all going to have to, insert yourself into this new system they're creating. So let's read that again. Individuals who refuse to comply could face severe consequences. You see? Let me get that, man. Let me get this now. See, what does it say? Revelations 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. You see? And that's dealing with individuals, man. Whether you're, whether you're a rich individual, whether you're a poor individual, whether you're locked in prison, whether you're in the military, no matter who the hell you are as an individual, you are going to have to insert yourself into this system if you want to buy and sell or exist. Or like I said earlier, board a train, get medical attention, buy water, buy toilet paper, whatever. To function in this new society that he's establishing, you are going to have to comply and get involved in this beast system. It says to receive a mark or the charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay. Now I want to go to this word for causeth, man. And this is exactly what that article is telling you, right? And the word is poieō. It says, let me get to the point. Yeah, it says to constitute or appoint any, to appoint one anything, to appoint or ordain one that, here we go, where is that? Oh, look, to make one do something. See, to be the authors of a thing. Let me see. Let me see. There's the one I wanted. Oh, here we go. It says, to acquire, to provide a thing for oneself, to make a thing out of something, render one anything. You see, to declare anything, to make one do something, to cause one to, you see, to do, you see, with designation of time, to pass, spend, whatever, you see, but that's the point. What he is a system that he's implementing, he's causing you, or he's going to force you eventually to do it. So let's read that again, man. It says what? Individuals who refuse to comply could face severe consequences. You see? You see, like it says, I'm not going to read that part. It talks about Alex Jones, blah, blah, blah. It says he warned that mandatory enrollment into digital ID systems and CBDCs could mark the end of financial freedom as we know it. You see? So this thing is going to be made mandatory. It's going to cause all of you, man. That's why if you don't sign up, if you don't get involved, you're not going to be able to receive particular benefits. Ultimately, you're just not going to be accepted or recognized as a citizen in this man's society. So therefore, you can't function in society. You can't buy and sell in this society. You can't do anything that, that somebody who was linked to this system can do. You're going to be banned from doing anything. Not even banned. You just won't have the access to do anything, man. All right. Because in the future, if you want to get in the car, you're going to have to scan your MOTB. And if you don't have that, how the hell, if you can't scan that and those futuristic vehicles are going to have, how the hell are you going to start the car? If you got to scan it to get into a grocery store, how the hell is the little barrier is not going to open for you to go inside and to buy and sell if you don't have the prerequisites, man. You see, this is why the root word of charagma is karax, and karax is grapho. You see? And what's the point I'm trying to make? I just had a brain fart. Yeah, charagma, and then you got karax, and then you got grapho, man. All right, and if you don't have your charagma, you don't have that mark, man, you're not going to be able to get that car started. You're not going to be able to, if you don't have it, you can't use it to get the things that you need. So this is all pointing towards what this devil is trying to implement. This is says the whole point of what's going on with the CBDC is a movement toward a single global digital currency and a complete surveillance state. It says all of our transactions are monitored and our behavior is tied to a social credit score, you see, because this is how they're going to be able to control your behavior. This is how they're trying to play God with this new technology, man, to the point to where once you sign up and once you get your charagma and you get your digital ID and you fully submit yourself to this beast system, hey, whatever this devil tells you to do, you're going to have to do it. So if he tells you, hey man, we created, I'm just using that as an example, he might tell you, look, all citizens at 12 o'clock, you're going to have to bow down and worship Satan as your God, you know, at 12 o'clock noon on this such a date. And if you and if you don't do it, hey, we're gonna just turn off your chip. We're gonna just totally shut you out of society. The people are they're gonna have no choice but to do it. Otherwise, they're gonna have to face the consequences of their actions, man. Which you're not gonna have any say so. You're not gonna have any right to try to exempt yourself from it. Once you fully submit yourself into this new beast system, hey, you're at the mercy of whatever this devil wants you to ultimately to do, because otherwise he could kill you. He could separate you. He could lock you in prison. He could turn off your chip. Shit, who knows? He can have some type of electromagnetic shock in that chip to where he could flip a switch and it could just, fry you to death, Or he'll send AI to your house, or, send the AI drones to your place and bomb that shit, or just, send the AI police to your house, the AI drones to your house and drag you out of that bitch and lock you up indefinitely, or worse. You see? It says these concerns are backed by recent developments in countries like Vietnam and Kuwait, where citizens are being compelled to register their biometric data. Non-compliance could result in the loss of access to bank accounts and government services. You see? Look at this. It says in Vietnam on January 1st, 2025, bank accounts not reconciled with biometric data will have their online transactions halted. You see? So in Vietnam, if you don't have, at least what they're requiring you, your online transaction is going to be halted. You're going to have a lot of issues dealing with your bank accounts, man. Which we know, people are going to be like, well, shit, I got to do this. I got to do that. If I don't comply, then guess what? I'm fucked. So it's kind of like they're forcing your hand to do these things. It says this push for a cashless society aims to enhance financial inclusion and security, according to supporters. Yeah, inclusion. It's just a nice way of saying they're forcing you to get down with this system. Look at this. Kuwait has a similar approach, with the government announcing that all citizens that expatriate must provide biometric fingerprints or risk having their bank accounts and government services suspended by December 31st, and that's tomorrow. Since 2016, the country has been rolling out biometric fingerprint program, with political leaders setting an example to emphasize compliance or force. They're forcing them. It says the push for mandatory biometric enrollment in these countries is part of a global trend. 134 countries representing 98% of global GDP are exploring CBDCs. 11 countries have already launched CBDCs, with more expected in the coming years, you see? So you can see how they're forcing their citizens into this new beast system, man. Eventually, you're not going to have a choice. Like I said, making it sound cute. Oh, just opt into it, yada, yada, yada. But once they start telling you, see, this is why I keep saying, eventually all systems are going to be linked to this beast system. They're just starting it first with the financial sector. So if you don't do this, then you're going to have issues with you trying to bank or to pull money out of the ATM, or you're going to have your services suspended until what? Until you see the light. And like I said, they're starting it with these financial systems. But what if they do it with, the Department of Motor Vehicles? What if they don't have your biometrics linked, with the DMV by such and such a date? Hey, you can't renew your registration, or they'll put a halt on you being able to drive your car, or they can limit the amount of miles you can drive until you get updated and get all of your biometrics that's required for you to comply, to work with the Department of Motor Vehicles. It's going to be the same with eventually getting food. It's going to be the same with having to get an apartment or having a house. You're going to have all of your biometrics and yourself linked to this system in order to, use these particular services. Otherwise, they're going to be suspended, or otherwise you'll just be totally unable to have access to them. So you can see how they're, pretty much corralling everybody into this new digital beast system, whether you want it or not, man. Because all they're going to eventually say, you're going to call these companies, are going to be like, well, sorry, there's nothing that we can do. This is, the owners and the shareholders, or the owners of these companies, they're being forced to link the business with this new system. And hey, if we don't do it, we're going to be cut off. So if you don't apply to it, then you can't work here. You can't use our services. So it's all one big trap being set for everybody, man. All right. And we know it's all going to lead to the MOTB in this dystopian future to where Esau Edom is trying to play God via this technology. And either you're going to comply and bow down to it, or you're going to be separated or be killed. Point blank, period, man. It says, proponents argue that these measures are necessary to prevent fraud and ensure financial stability. You see, that's the cap right there. That's the reasons why they're telling you that they need these new systems, because, all these hackers and, identity theft is at an all-time high and we can't control it. And this is going to be able to prevent these hackers from being able to do all these things if us starting the system, whatever. It's all bullshit, just to, dangling that carrot in front of you. It says critics like Day, however, see them as a steps towards a dystopian future where every person's behavior and transactions are monitored by a central authority. Right. It says people's access to money is contingent upon their compliance with government mandates, he warned, you see? And eventually it's like you're going to, whatever they tell you, you're going to have to bow down and obey. See, this is why I say he calls us all, both small and great, rich or poor, to eventually receive that mark, the charagma, the MOTB, because if they're able to get you to comply to these different measures right now without even putting the MOTB in your face, just by telling you that, if you don't do it by this date, you're going to be your access to these different things are going to be suspended. There's going to be delays. You're going to have more and more trouble. It's going to be harder for you to access these services unless you do what the hell they tell you to do, man. You see, it's like they're forcing you to do it. They're leaving you ultimately one choice and one choice only to have access to these different things. This is how he's trying to play God via this technology, man. And he will eventually have the power to say, look, if you don't have these things, then you're going to be just shit out of luck, man. Bye, Felicia. You see? It says, moreover, the integration of these CBDCs with digital ID system raises additional concerns. In Vietnam, the VelNet biometric ID app is being developed into a super app. And isn't that what Elon Musk was saying he was trying to create? One of these super apps to where you can have all of your shit, everything that you need inside of one app. So this shows you that guy, Elon Musk, is nothing more than a damn devil, and he's not to be trusted, man. All right. He's working on the behalf of these elites, but he's trying to establish it for him, for his own self, have his own lane to where he could, operate in this new system that these devils are creating. It says a super app that integrates various features, including medical ID and potentially a social credit score. This app was originally developed during the Wuhan, you see that, but could eventually extend far beyond health checks, you see, because everything, like I said, that whole Wuhan shit, that was just a test run, man, to see how far the people would comply, to see how far that they could take it. You see, it says the carrot and stick approach used by banks in Vietnam to encourage biometric registration, which includes offering financial rewards and prizes, further underscores the coercive nature of these measures. Citizens who refuse to comply face significant penalties, you see, and that's the point of why he's going to cause all, because eventually, if you don't comply, then, hey, what do you say? No ticky, no laundry, man. If you don't comply, then guess what? Your access to these services is going to be terminated, man. And what do you think the majority of these people are going to do when they're faced with this reality? Either you gotta have it or you're going to do without. The majority of these people with no faith, with no trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, especially 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, see, a lot of you are going to be deceived into eventually taking that MOTB because you fully believe that your only access to food, water, and life, and all these things, are in the hands of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. You don't put your faith and trust that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai can provide these things for you outside of the say-so of the so-called white man in this system, which is why you're going to fail and you're going to be deceived and you're going to be eventually deemed worshipers of the beast and you're going to be destroyed in the presence of the holy angels and the Lamb Yahweh Shai. All right. So he keeps saying that citizens who refuse to comply face significant penalties, man. You see? And this is where a lot of people are going to waver. A lot of people are going to lose hope and faith, and they're going to be deceived and taken, man. You see? It says, as the rollout of CBDCs and digital ID systems accelerates globally, see, like I said, globally, privacy advocates are calling for a reassessment of these policies, which they ain't reassessing shit. That's why I said they eventually they're going to bring a crisis that's going to totally destabilize this society as we know it. Remember, they made that movie a year ago. What was it called? The movie with that came out on Netflix that the Obamas produced. Leave the World Behind. You see, they're not going to reassess any goddamn thing. This is the agenda. This is what they want, and they're going to go forward with it. It says they argue that financial privacy is a fundamental human right. We need to take our privacy back and reassert privacy as a fundamental right. Well, that sounds good, but that's not how things work, man. All right, these devils are in control, and this is what they're going to ultimately try to do. You see? It says the rapid rollout of CBDCs linked to digital ID systems in two countries raises critical questions about individual privacy and financial freedom. You're not going to have any in the future, man. You're going to have your CBDC. You're going to have your social credit score, and you will eat the bugs, as they said, man. All right. Your CBDC, they're going to give it to you according to what they feel that you should have. All right. They're going to give you everything that you need is going to be given unto you, you know, on a basis to so-called save the planet, man. All right. This is why, you know, all of this financial freedom and all this other shit is not going to be existent. You're not going to be able to live how you're living now, to buy at your own leisure, to buy as much as you want, whenever you want, to, you know, travel as much as you want, whenever you want, as long as you have the means and the money to do so. Those things are going to be gone in the future, man. Everything that you do is going to be restricted to a monthly basis, man. And if they feel that you're using too much electricity, you're traveling too much, you're eating too much of this, you know, hey, they're going to be able to restrict it in real time, man. And they're going to give you your daily ration of energy, your daily ration of water, food, how far you can travel, what you can do, and how much carbon that you can use on this planet Earth based on your social credit score, man. It's a total, like I said, dystopian slavery system, man. And they're going to use artificial intelligence and AI to rule over you and to monitor you and to keep tabs on every single thing that you do and give you all of your proper slave rations of the day in this new fucking beast system, man. And you people are going to be miserable. You're going to bitch. You're going to moan. You're going to cry. But guess what? You're not going to be able to do anything about it. You're not going to be able to march and, you know, march for your rights, rebel, have sedition, have uprisings, buck up against the government, because the moment you do so, these devils will have the moment to turn off your microchip, man. Or to you know, in real time deal with you the right way. And there's gonna be nothing you can do but bow down and take it up the tailpipe, man. It says, as governments and central banks pushes citizens to adopt these new systems, critics such as Dave warn of a surveillance state where every transaction and behavior is tied to a digital score. That's why I said you're not going to be able to protest these things. You're not going to be able to bitch and moan and give an opinion once you're fully developed and you bow down to this new beast system. And when you finally realize that it ain't fair, they're treating you like shit, you don't have any freedom, the things that you used to do, you no longer have the ability or the freedom to do so. Hey, it's going to be too late by the time you realize it. Once you're deceived into bowing down and getting down into this system, man, it's going to be too fucking late. You're going to be a digital slave, and you're going to be through out here, man, taking all type of jump shots, all type of serums, all whatever these devils tell you got to do. You're going to have no choice but to bow down and to take it. And hey, and you've been warned. All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? Right. And nobody ain't gonna have any pity on you people when you acquiesce to this new system and you take his charagma and you submit your allegiance to this new world order to become part of his global citizenship. And when you come to the realization that you you were deceived, you were duped, he lied, and now you're trapped in this digital hell, ain't nobody going to have pity for you, because we warned you and we told you what this devil was trying to do. It says, verse 14, so one that goeth to a sinner, and Esau Edom is the ultimate sinner. He's the ultimate worker of iniquity. And you're going to go and you're going to trust this devil, you know, and get involved with his system. After all of this information, all of the exposure of Esau, of this government, of how wicked and how corrupt and how everything that they've been doing has been nothing but a lie, how they've been You know, the whole thing that happened in 2020, how that's come out to be a fraud, and they lied and they withheld information and they paid off people to tell you things that weren't true. And you still go to this devil at the end of the day and trust him after all that he has done. Then nobody's going to have pity on you and nobody's going to feel sorry for you, man. You get exactly what you deserve. It says, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? All right. And the question is nobody. It says, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. And here's the point. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart or his mind, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. And this whole digital beast system, the CBDCs, all of this digital shit is nothing more than a pit and a snare that he's going to dupe a lot of you people into walking into. All right. And you've been warned, and we've been out here telling you ad nauseum to where, you know, you should have known better, man. It says he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, right? And like I said, when he crashes this economy, when he lets martial law takes place, and brings all this order out of the chaos, man. Hey, when all hell breaks loose, and it's time for a solution to be finally had, guess what? He's going to be there first, man. And it says what? And though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. Right. And this is what this is, part of his undermining, a part of the trap he's setting for all of you simple minded people out there who think that this is the wave of the future. It's going to help this. It's going to help that. It's going to make things more convenient. It's going to be a solution to all of the problems, man. And, whatever. Hey, when this trap is set for you, man, hey, don't be surprised, man. All right. This man is not to be trusted under any circumstances, man. And every day is closer to this devil trying to bring in this digital prison system, which a lot of you people are going to be duped and deceived into taking. But hey, you've been warned by the Spirit and by the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. To the next one, shalom.